Hey guys, did you know that JD Vance has a zombies channel? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about Black Ops 7. I have a lot of thoughts when it comes to this because obviously there's been a lot of conversation around how this game's going to play mechanics wise and all that other stuff, but at the same time, there's some positive stuff that I want to talk about as well. So let's just get the negative out of the way just right off the bat. The mechanics in this game are going to be the same as Black Ops 6. So armor, rarities, point systems most likely, loadouts, and things like that are going to be in this game, and it's unfortunately the case because we have a director that is insistent on just keeping these mechanics in the game. Despite what people say about modern zombies, obviously he just doesn't really care. But a lot of people like to defend Kevin Drew and say that, oh, he's not behind it at all. But believe it or not, he actually is. So let me real quick actually pull this up just to prove it to people that this is his idea. This was posted all the way back in 2021 where he posted his 15 years at Treyarch portfolio. He's the main guy behind the zombie systems in Cold War. So this is what it says. Lead designer. The biggest pivot of my career, I switched over to the systems design team. Based on my past zombies experience, I set out to unify the multiplayer mechanics with zombies and make the mode as accessible as possible. That is straight from his mouth. I know a lot of people like to say, oh, it's not like multiplayer, it's not like Warzone. That was his goal with modern zombies, guys. So seriously, when people say zombies feels like multiplayer or Warzone, it's because of stuff like that. Anyway.
Approachability, raising the floor.
That's honestly my main concern with this game. Just the mechanics, honestly. Everything else I think looks like a step up over Black Ops 6. Especially the map. It takes place right after Reckoning. In fact, you literally spawn in the Reckoning spawn room. Welcome to the party. And essentially they're taking a very heavy inspiration from Transit with this map, mainly with the scale and the ability to have a vehicle transport you throughout the map. But unlike Transit, you have this new vehicle called the Wonder Vehicle, which essentially replaces the bus and is actually controlled by the player itself. I see this as a good and bad thing. It's good being able to just roam throughout the map, but it's also bad because it completely undermines the original point of the Transit bus. It was kind of a give or take. He was going to take you to these locations at these certain times. Sometimes you can just miss the bus. This isn't going to be as big of a problem if you are the one who are driving it. I don't know, I'm curious how this is actually going to work out in the map itself. And apparently this Wonder Vehicle has the Pack-a-Punch machine on it as well, which is really interesting to say the least. Imagine if it just glitches outside of the map. You would literally have no way to actually Pack-a-Punch outside of using Gobblegums. Also, overall, the aesthetic just looks really good in comparison to what we had in Black Ops 6. There's actual color. There's color! Wow. Something that we usually do not see in modern zombies. So the map is going to be pretty interesting, and I'm very curious to see how it's going to play. Now this is something I'm very excited about. We're finally getting survival maps back from Black Ops 2. This is something I don't really understand why Treyarch never did since. It's actually kind of wild to me. So it's essentially just going to be like Black Ops 2 where there's a cut down version of the map, but there's going to be everything that's required for you to survive. So things like the Pack-a-Punch, crafting bench, arsenal station, etc. So in essence, you know, they kind of want you to camo grind on this type of mode, but hey, I mean, I'm just glad survival maps are back. I'm just being honest, regardless of how they're implemented. I just wish modern systems weren't there. And Dead Ops Arcade 4 is releasing in this game as well. I'm very excited for this because I was a big fan of Dead Ops 3, especially the first person mode. I just absolutely love that. So I really hope on day one they'll have first person Dead Ops again, because that was just a ton of fun. Apparently this version is so in depth that it can literally be its own game. So I'm very excited to try it out. If regular zombies isn't doing it for me, I'll play that. So fun times. So I'm pretty sure that's pretty much everything we learned at the moment. Of course, there's going to be more stuff that's going to be coming out in early September, as I was talking about, but my overall thoughts in general are just mixed. On one hand, there are some good stuff in this. Survival maps, an in-depth map with color and actual liveliness to it. Dead Ops 4, that sounds great. But at the same time, we have the modern zombies mechanics. So you just can't seem to get a perfect game, at least in my opinion. But I'm gonna give it a shot, as I usually do. So yeah, hope you all enjoyed. Drop a like, subscribe, and all that stuff. And as always, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you all have a wonderful day.